Let's go!
So earlier today, and at the behest of myself and a lot of other people, it appears that E3 is no longer going to be a thing for 2020. And I'm not entirely surprised by this. This is pretty big news because E3 has been going straight for about, I think, the past 12 years. There was one or two years in the middle of the 2000s where it was like very consolidated and a much different E3 than it used to. But for anyone that doesn't know, I've been going to E3 for like the past, since 2001, like 17 of those years I've been going to E3. So this sucks for me. They're canceling it due to the coronavirus, and I haven't talked about the whole, the crazy now worldwide pandemic that is the coronavirus, but now it's infiltrated video game space. So I have some predictions about what else is going to happen this year. Like NBA seasons, people are saying the NHL seasons, like college seasons of giant sports events are being straight canceled now. People are saying their schools are closed. Tom Hanks got it. I hope the best for him because I know he's like an older dude, and that's super shitty. The thing I kind of want to talk about is that this is officially infiltrated video game space. The damn C virus. E3 was canceled, and I'm not even surprised, right? E3 this year was already a disaster. There was a lot of stuff that's been rumored about, that internal stuff that's been a complete disaster with E3 this year and the ESA. This all comes off of the cusp of last year, where they leaked a ton of personal information for a ton of attendees for many years at E3, which was just friggin' the most asinine thing they possibly could do. And even after that, it was like, is anyone gonna trust these people again? Is anyone gonna trust the folks at E3 to go back? And then later on, there's more stuff like Jeff Keighley and his big events. He's like, nope, I'm out of this shit. There's even more people that were running the event, no joke, running the entire coordination of the event. They're like, nope, we're done. We're getting the hell out of here. So it seemed like it was just inevitable that E3 this year is just not going to happen. We're in March now, and we still haven't gotten media invites. So I was like, me and Simmons have just been wondering for the past 3 months. We're like, is this shit even happening this year? Long story short, I think the coronavirus and the risk of, here's why everything's getting canceled. The last thing you want is to hold a giant video game event or a tournament or something, and for your tournament to now be, or event, to be the representation of an outbreak, to be a representation of, oh, somebody got sick at our event, that is now being reported on in news, like the video game event, Ass Blasters 2020, a popular anime fighting game event, an outbreak of the coronavirus, 6 people diagnosed with coronavirus, several others possibly exposed. That's the dangerous part. If it was Ass Blasters 2020, I'm making stuff up so I don't out anything that hasn't even happened. But if it was Ass Blasters 2020, the highly anticipated anime event, then you would never want to go back. You'd be like, man, they didn't care about our health, our safety, the love for anime. It would cause permanent bad will or ill will towards them sort of in the future, even though it's not their fault. That's what everyone's thinking right now. Everyone, even Microsoft is canceling their E3 thing, and they have their own friggin' theater. ESA's canceled officially E3 now. Sony's already been canceled for a long time at E3. They've stepped out for a while. So like I said, I'm not surprised. E3 is important to me. The crazy thing is that I'm expecting a child around August, right around August, so I was already not going to be going to a lot of these events because I'm taking care of my damn pregnant wife and doing everything I possibly can for her, and around that time frame we're going to be pretty close, 8 months in. It's weird for me because I was already not able to go to a lot of events this year because of that, and the same thing with JJ, but this is now all sort of, I can't say conveniently because it's not convenient, this is all happening around the same time frame, and it's sort of screwing everything up now for everybody. And not just me, not just me. So the last thing we want to do is go out and get sick because I already got sick. I already got the type A flu and it sucked. It was ridiculous. And my wife also got it, even though I quarantined myself. Yeah, the last thing I want is to put JJ at risk. And that was the most depressing part, was when she got sick with the type A virus. I was like, oh God, I have to take care of her. I have to do everything I possibly can for her. So it was crappy, dude. We already self-quarantined. I was in this room just sitting up here like, for a long time. Either way, long story short, I think the next event that has a very high likelihood of getting canceled is Evo. And I think that sucks. This Evo this year is exciting. However, Evo this year is going to be a big event, a large event. It's in a place that you have a lot of different people coming from all over the world. I honestly feel that Evo this year has a very big chance. Although I don't know, because the people that run Evo, those guys don't really have many events they run throughout the year, right? They have Evo Japan and this. So they kind of like need Evo, you know? I think Evo has a fairly like 50-50 chance, right? If things really calm down, like absolutely calm down before, you know, June-ish, and they get a pretty good idea that things are gonna happen, then I think Evo's got a 50-50 chance, which sucks. I don't know if it's just gonna be the attendees going and they will just compete and then they'll broadcast it, right? I think that's kind of close to what they did with the LCQs for Mortal Kombat with like their top 8s. I could see that happening where everyone sort of goes, but the big like open tournament, actually I just realized it's an open tournament. It doesn't even matter, you know? The whole point is that you have 3,000 people that signed up for Street Fighter or Smash, and you have to fight your way to the top. That's the whole point of the tournament. So if you can't have all those people competing against each other, right? So I don't know. I think there's a pretty good chance that Evo could be in consideration. I think this could also affect other things down the line. I personally feel, which would really suck, we haven't heard anything about next generation systems, and that shit would potentially be launching in 9, possibly 8 months from now. 8 or 9 months from now, next gen is going to be a thing. So it's not even that long away. I'm kind of feeling that Microsoft and Sony are holding off of announcing a lot of these things, maybe saving it for E3, but I feel like they're holding off announcing like release dates and stuff like that because all this stuff is affecting production. It's actually affecting the production of parts. It's affecting the production of potentially a bunch of devices that come out of China, that come out of all these places where they're primarily made. I can see that being a big thing because if they're having to make a giant production line of brand new systems, that will heavily affect a launch of a console. That'll heavily affect what the hell's going to be happening in the near future. I think E3 is still gonna happen, right? I think there's still going to be an E3. Is there going to be a giant commune of a bunch of people getting together in one area and playing stuff and talking to each other? No. You're not gonna get all the cool, you know, first hands-on reports of everyone that's going to be at E3 celebrating it and doing all that stuff. That's just not gonna happen this year. But a lot of the developers like WB, people that have announcements, maybe even Capcom, all these people are essentially going to be doing online E3s in some way. They're going to be doing their Sony State of Plays, they're going to be doing their Nintendo Directs, they're going to be doing things of the like, which I think is good. However, God, I'm still getting over this thing. 3 weeks in and I'm still getting over it. However, at the end of it all, I think there's going to be a big deal where a lot of devs and a lot of folks that end up doing this thing get some good press off of their directs that they do. And it's going to affect them realizing the fact that E3 is going to be unnecessary. It's going to be something that they don't actually need to go to. They're going to realize that it doesn't affect their posture in the industry very much. Henceforth, this canceling of E3 might end up revealing the fact that E3 isn't that necessary anymore. And next E3, nobody shows up. No one shows up and they save money. And then the ESA will actually have to, once again, work their butts off to bring E3 back, which they haven't been doing very much. So I think that sucks. I like E3 being a thing. E3 is essentially video game Christmas in my personal opinion. But over the years, things have changed quite a bit. We now have 2 video game Christmases throughout the year. And it's primarily E3 and the Game Awards. So Jeff Keighley has sort of jumped in and made his own E3 in many ways. But it's just an online E3 where you just watch announcements and stuff like that. If anything is going to get affected, is Evo. And I think it's about a 50-50 chance if Evo is going to get canceled. However, Evo being canceled isn't as easy as, oh, we'll just have the tournament, you know, the people that are in the tournament compete, and then we're just gonna broadcast the tournament that way. That doesn't work that way because Evo is an open tournament. The whole point is that you get, like I said, 3,000 to 5,000 people competing in Street Fighter or Smash, and they have to whittle that way down all the way to a top 8. you're essentially removing that in many ways. So the thing that sucks is that if Evo gets canceled, I wanted to stay at home and watch the viewer experience of Evo. I wanted to be like sitting at home, watching top 8s, watching pre-qualifiers, watching all this stuff, watching the Marble 2 tournament with like you guys here. I was genuinely looking forward to that. So I'm gonna be super bummed out if that doesn't happen. But at the same time, am I disappointed that that's not happening? I'm not. Like, I don't want Evo to be the tournament where 15 people contract this horrible freaking pandemic shit. It's a really bad flu, right? And there's a pretty good chance you're gonna be okay. But that sucks. That's terrible that Evo is now labeled as the tournament where that shit happened. It's looking crazy. I hope I'm wrong. I don't want Evo to get canceled, but I'm thinking the next big one is going to be that. And if Evo does get canceled, I wouldn't be surprised if it might take a few months. I think they might wait until possibly June, maybe May, if that stuff does happen. Yeah, Max doesn't go to Evo and it gets immediately canceled after? What have I done? Oh God, Comic-Con. Ooh, Comic-Con's even earlier than Evo. The crazy thing about these events like Comic-Con and stuff is that they need these things, man. They really need these things to exist, so I don't know, dude, I don't. I have no idea. Anime Expo, like whatever. I don't go to many of these things. Evo's like the one thing. Evo and E3 are the ones that I go to. I already wasn't going to Evo. I'm now definitely not going to E3, but I hope there's still going to be a lot of announcements. At least it allows us to be kind of at home and watching these things more than anything. But yeah, I think sometimes, like NCR just got canceled, sometimes it's not up to the tournament organizers. With NCR and NorCal, I think it was Santa Clara, they announced that no events, no nothing, you can't do it. So they were actually following what the city was ordaining. They were essentially doing, there's nothing in their power anymore to hold NorCal regionals anymore. So they had to cancel it. But yeah, we lost the NBA, I know. It's a scary thing. Stay safe, be smart. It's now invaded video games in some way, and it sucks ass. I'm gonna tell you right now, it's better the event not happening than getting that shitty-ass, terrible flu. And as someone who just went through the Type A flu, which is not even nearly as bad as that stuff, with similar symptoms, I can tell you it sucks total ass. It was not fun.